In other words, all light. It's all light. It's called syncretism. That's what the ancients called it, or that's what modern science and philosophy refer to how the ancients approached it as syncretism. It's really all light. Thoughts is sound in itself. You know what I mean? Energy is sound. They say that I was just doing some research on, I think, Hindu, and they talk about sound being last after the light. I gotta look at that page, but really, sound is not always audible. Just like somebody could say something, and if you're not close enough, you don't hear. But that don't mean that it's not happening, right? And that's the whole idea. Even, you know what I mean, like even when you think something, it scientifically it emits inaudible sound. Every one of our thoughts emit. Like if you were to take a fucking oscillation monitor, sort of sensor that reads fucking sound waves, you would see sound waves at the level of that the ear don't pick up, coming from your brain as you think different things. Right? You can tell a person to think about something, and a particular different sort of pattern of sound, inaudible sound waves will come out of your brain, out of your freaking head, where your brain is at, where these synapses with this light pass through neurons, which are nerve endings, literal, actual light energy, is stimulating and activating particular thoughts in your brain, or in your mind, through your brain. Right? Because the mind is not necessarily the brain. It's just a contraption. It's basically like a motherboard, basically. It's kind of like a motherboard, right? Say look, like, because you're looking at the TV, right? And what makes TVs able to show a scene, a screen, or a freaking image, is electricity going into this whole contraption, this whole fucking machine that is the television. Now, whoever makes that television work to where now it takes a plasma and stretches it across a box frame and puts light through that to make an image, that's all technology. The brain is basically organic technology. But the picture, the thought, is not necessarily in the brain. The brain is just not creating that image. It's just displaying the image. What created the image was the actors in front of another fucking machine in the daytime or under some lights. And that is the image you're looking at. Or another illustrator drew some shit and they took and they digitized that with colors. And that is what made the image. But what is displaying the image through the television screen is technology. And that's basically what your brain is. Your brain is not your mind. Right? Your mind is the imagery that your brain is showing you. Okay? And it's not, and that's what your mind is. But the imagery in itself is your soul. Okay? What you see is your soul. You're seeing it with your mind, but you're seeing it on your brain. Just like you're looking at a scene on the TV of some motherfuckers that made that scene, okay? Don't nothing come from nothing, bro. Right? So we stuck in the box feeling like everything is the box. Okay? We stuck in the box feeling like our soul is our mind, is our brain. And that's why they give you chemicals that will affect your physical when the physical is only the doorway, and your key is your will, right? To open that door, your will, which directs your thoughts, which your thoughts direct your actions. But we have involuntary reactions. They call reflex. They call instincts, and that's what make us even have the notion to decide to have a thought. Okay, that is an action in itself, though, a conscious action to think. Right, it's an action, and that influences the actions you decide on. But a lot of times we do things based on how we feeling. But we also decide to do that. We decide to stay in a state of mind, in a mode of activity, to where our bodies are left to fulfill and perform in that capacity before, of course, we would decide to act based on a decision, based on a conscious thought. And that's the way this fucking simulation, not stimulation, is designed to stimulate us. We're stimulated by simulations. Okay? That's, you know what I mean? That's basically the programming. Okay? Right? Because you can take a camera and make your own movie. You know what I'm saying? You ain't gotta worry about nobody else showing you a movie unless you respect that person enough to appreciate their art. You know, but that's a whole nother different story than let me see what's on that I can watch. You know what I mean? Let me pay for this subscription to this so that I would have access to options. When you got access to options, you just gotta act first. It's gonna take that action. Yeah, and you need them actors too. Okay? You can play the roles yourself, but when it comes to dialogue between particular characters, fuck you gonna do? You know what I'm saying? And that's basically your emotions and shit. No, I'm just saying you can take that different ways or whatever. All I'm saying is this. It's light. What I'm saying is that it's all light, okay? Even with the electricity that goes into the TV that then powers the light that they then configure to be able to be displayed in a particular sort of pattern, that's still light. The electricity that powers the light box is still light, okay? Now what is light? As I fucking just said, light is sound. Remember? Nah, you have forgot already. I told you to be careful. And for the record, imagination is based on your memory, which is endless, as I mentioned in the first tape, the Akashic records, which go beyond time and space. So that's really what you're pulling from. But that's just the fruit of the tree, which the tree has roots as well as seasons. But as far as light and that being sound, how is this possible? Well, just because you're not right next to somebody saying something, or you're not standing in the forest when the tree falls, it still makes what are called vibrations. Just like the moon enhances or affects the tides of the earth and shit, based on rotational, gravitational, sort of magnetic, you know, force fields and shit, all these different, you know what I mean, natural type of symbiotic rhythms and whatever. When it comes to a drop hitting the surface of maybe a still glass of water, or it don't even have to be a pond, it ain't even got to be a swimming pool, it ain't even got to be an ocean, it could be a puddle somewhere. One drop hit that puddle is gonna make ripples, right? Same difference when it comes to any sound that is created. However it's created, whether it be out of your voice box, whether it be in your brain, which also has an audible sound, it's all sound. comes to words, these are structured sounds. Okay? Even your thoughts are communicated to you as words. However, they are in a different form before you put them to words. A formless form. Okay? Which is why art is so stimulating, why it's so appealing, sensational, and particularly abstract art, particularly rhythmic poetry, or improvisational fucking, you know what I mean? Yeah, a word. Free styling, right? I mean, just kind of related to what was sort of like commonly, you know what I'm saying, relatable or whatever, as far as like, you know what I mean, whoever would be listening to this, in the context of me saying it, as to why I'm saying it. I'm saying it because I thought about it, and I you know, I wanted to say what I thought before I forgot it, because a nigga like me be forgetting my thoughts very often, because I don't like to structure unstructured shits without particular pure purposes for that. I can wait until you ain't hiding your piece, so that I ain't gotta restructure this whole puzzle again. Cause I wanna get to the other color, cause we got a puzzle and it got new colors on it. But we gotta put it together first in order to see the colors that we ain't never seen. You dig what I mean? And niggas hiding the parts of their pieces is not their fault. It's not their fault. They are not understanding the pure purpose for shit. They're relinquished to having to accept that it's only so far you can take it, and that's far you gotta, and that's cool. Those are just the steps. But understand, just because you doing one dance don't mean there's other dances that don't exist. That you gotta completely restructure your entire rhythm, mechanism, and association to even be able to do. It's like a salsa dancer trying to break dance. It just look funny. It's always gonna be like that whole little type of, you know what I mean, sort of merengue, sort of, you know, tint type of, you know, twinge to the whole break dance, right? Unless that person is just, you know what I mean, mad versatile, mad, you know, got, you know, versatility, able to adapt. But once you learn a particular dance, you always gonna have a little hint of that dance in whatever other dance you're doing. That's like you got a person that does a hip hop dance, they're trying to do ballet. You're gonna be able to tell, like, oh snap, okay, she kind of got an edge to her, like, you know what I mean? But that's not always the case. Now what makes a difference? Learning it all at once is one thing. Appreciating the beauty, the interrelated as well as unique beauty of beauty itself. And different ways that can be translated as well as communicated and expressed. Like, say for instance, nigga, your kid take gymnastics, but it also play piano, but then also does fucking you know, interpretive modern dancing, and also every type of, you know what I'm saying? He does capoeira, it does karate. You're not gonna really be able to tell its major influence. It's gonna be able to really get into the very essence of each of those different fucking practices as well as art forms, yo. And that's just facts, my nigga. Those are the facts. And it's an amazing thing to see. It's an amazing thing to see. Right? But see, there's also a beauty also in someone coming from a particular different background and knowing that to the fullest, but it doesn't take being away from anything else in order for that to happen. Not no more, it does not. Especially if you got time, nigga, to be sitting around watching somebody else do some shit. Especially, bro. For real. And that's where communication comes in. It's not just about words, my nigga. It's really about actions. But to speak, to communicate is an action in itself. To think is an action. Right? Like we speaking. The reason why actions speak louder than words is because we speaking about shit that we not even thinking about. We thinking about shit that we ain't even saying. More and more every day. And it's like I go, you know what I mean? I'll be seeing motherfuckers and it's like, yo, look, my nigga, I'll smack your ass. Because you choosing to choose not to. No matter what you've been shown, you gotta understand that you can make your own program, yo. What happened to the visionaries, man? You ain't never seen no TV program and say, hey, I wonder what it would look like if I was to make this. No, you don't have the time, you don't have the money, you don't have the resources, you don't have the support. You know what I'm saying? But if you did, then you would, and you would be a totally different motherfucker. You might even get your shit done for others to see and appreciate and be inspired by. Because if not, we all finna be having to be left with whatever is fucking pre-selected and available when there's no limits. Light is the only limit. However, even that is unlimited because light is actually sound. It only becomes light in reference to time and space. Okay? Now, sound exists without hearing sound. Because sound, what is frequency? We're talking about frequency, which we would say as sound when it comes to it being picked up by the ear. Right? But there are waves, all different types of waves. There's an entire scale of waves, and these are electromagnetic waves. But there's different type of waves. Here in this gross, dense, physical, material world, it's scientifically broken down into this particular range of scaled frequencies, basically. But even those frequencies are directed for one, with thought, for one, which is sound, and directed through sound as well. But it's also directed from beyond just the electromagnetic reference and association. And that is what CERN is trying to crack. That's why they even interested in fucking reversing action, which is life, right? Because if you get back to the most microscopic energy, it's coming out of. They're trying to reverse it, to go back into. And that's what they're doing. The only thing about that is, dang, I thought about something just then when I was saying that, cuz. What did I think about? I said, sheesh. Oh, it's directed by beyond that. It's directed by beyond that. Even, you know what I'm saying? Dang, bro. I just thought I was something. I was just making the main point I was about you. I was even did all of this, folks. What am I thinking about? I'm thinking about thinking is what I'm thinking about. Now, motherfuckers try to hate on you for thinking. When you have an idea, they want to be like, damn, nigga thought of that. And what's funny is, like, I was thinking about how, like, when you hear something that you didn't think of, that's so super dope, you be like, damn, now I can't think about that. I can't be the one who thought of it. Oh, and I think that's part of it too. Like, you know, we all like have that in us. And so when we see when someone else does something like that is completely, ultrally, naturally, just like creative, part of us not necessarily gets jealous or envious. We just kind of like be like, that's so cool. I hope I can do something as cool, because I wouldn't be worthy of even experiencing that. I wouldn't be as worthy of experiencing that through another person, not necessarily by, but through another person, so to speak. If I never realized, or I didn't realize something not comparable, but at least relatable within my own realm of activity and, I guess you could say, involvement in its own regard and respects. I mean, not necessarily comparing, but just kind of like association, just kind of like, you know what I mean? It's kind of all connected anyway. It's not even about comparing. It's really all like, it's just, that's what it's for. It's inspiration. And it's not like, you want to do something as dope. It's just like, at the same time, you just want to be dope. You want to have, you know what I mean? You should be being dope. There's nothing wrong with being dope. It ain't. You know what I mean? And I'm not gonna accept a motherfucker walk around as if it's not best to be dope. Because it may be the same people trying to hate on the dope people. And if you could do that, if you could not be dope and not be a hater, then that'd be fine. But I'm gonna tell you right now, I believe that it is that very hate, lame ass shit, that keep people from naturally ending up being dope people. Cause it's nothing special. Not yet, it ain't. There's more colors, God. It's very special, but in that it's special is all I'm saying, is that it's that magnificent is even that much more magnificent. Because that's the thing about that sort of like naturally and ultimately like uniquely creative thing. The next thing that is impressive, that is impactful, is going to be more dope. When you're dope, you can't do nothing but get doper, yo. When you're truly dope, and it's just like your natural dopeness can do nothing but get doper. For real. You be doper than you ever thought you could be, just because you didn't stop being dope. And it take work to be dope, to be fly, to be fresh. It take money, yeah, sure enough, but it don't always take money, because, I'm the type of person, I'll make my outfit, nigga. I'm gonna go find some shit that you can't buy to make my outfit, bro. So it don't take money, it just take dopeness. And you can't buy dopeness, homie. You can buy some shit that I made because I'm dope. If I let you buy it, motherfucker. If you ain't hating on dopeness, and if you ain't hating on dopeness, that means you should be dope enough for us to have made some shit together and be rocking it. In a cultural sort of, expression of unity, nigga, of dopeness. So what you missing? Other than me not whooping your ass on sight for not being dope. I ain't gonna hate on you, but you obviously a hater. That means I'm gonna have to whoop your ass. Cause you gonna have people that you gonna be having the dope generation feeling self-conscious about being dope, and that ain't fair. And they are too good of people to whoop your ass. I'm not that good. I'll whoop your ass for them.